What's going on, everyone? Welcome to our YouTube live here. I'm Sean Fisher, one of the personal trainers here at the Upper Valley Aquatic Center. So today is Friday. Weekend is just around the corner, and work week's almost over for most of us. So, like always, go ahead, like, subscribe. Thanks for tagging along and kind of, going on with us and, sharing anything that you might want to learn about. So today that we're kind of going over on our Friday is what kind of crazy things might be going on in the fitness world, or what kind of new trends, or what kind of things that we want to talk about. So today we're going to talk about the nice little term about, shocking your muscles, right? So what that means, how it kind of maybe came up and things like that. So, when someone's training, they're kind of doing it, for, a long period of time or things like that, some of the social kind of media influences or kind of the terms that kind of came out was that, like, oh, you got to mix it up, you got to do something different, you got to like shock your muscles to, keep them progressing, keep them moving, things like that. So kind of to go over is basically right out the bat is that's nonsense, absolute rubbish, right? There is no such thing as shocking your muscles unless you're using an electric current to literally shock them, right? So, but doing a bicep curl and like as a hammer curl and then doing a bicep curl somewhere other way to shock your muscle to get more growth or change or anything like that doesn't exist, right? So here's another term that's in kind of our world that literally took ground, went off, no basis for it whatsoever. So let's take it, let's kind of break it down. And you think about, look at all these strongmen, these bodybuilders, things like that. They bench, squat, deadlift, right? That's all they do. They get bigger, they get stronger, they lift more, still doing the same lifts, right? They don't really shock their muscles or anything like that. They do their same lifts, they have progressive overload, they eat, they rest, they hydrate, they do nutrition to make the changes they want, right? So let's go down even farther, right? So let's take a look at your muscle, right? What do the muscles do, right? There's three different things that we can do with our muscles, right? We can contract, right? Where is you're flexing, right? So I'm bringing my arm towards me, right? My bicep is contracting, so I'm flexing, all right? Kind of, you can try to make that correlation, right? So it's concentric, right? The next is eccentric, right? My muscle is elongating, it's getting longer, so extension, right? So if I'm doing a bicep curl, or I'm bringing my hand towards me, right? My tricep, which is back here, right, is getting longer. Same thing goes by. My bicep is here, bicep gets longer, right? So eccentric, getting longer, right? The muscle is elongating or extending, right? So extension. And the third that most people might not actually really train or might not put into their program as much is it's isometric, right? It is basically, if you real simple, hold my arm straight out, literally holding it there. Muscle is not contracting or extending. It's staying at same length. It's not moving. It's an isometric hold. I'm literally holding it there until my arm, basically drops because I just kind of, drained, the energy resource going to the muscle, right? So literally that's what your muscles do. Concentric, eccentric, isometric, right? Real basic, right? So the muscles don't have brains, right? So you can't just trick it into something. The muscle only contracts, only extends, or only puts it on a straight hold, right? That's all it can do. It doesn't have, your muscles don't have eyes. Your brain's not saying, oh, this is a different bicep curl, you should get bigger because it's better. Not how it works. It's literally, if you're doing an exercise as, bicep curl, bicep only does that, right? You can only do that, right? My bicep is bringing my arm up. That's all a bicep curl does, right? Guess what? That's all you train, right? You can't trick your bicep into doing something different, right? and change it. You can do a different exercise, right? So, if you're doing a hammer curl, which we put emphasis in a different area as to, say you turned your wrist, right? So hammer curl is here where your palms are facing each other, or you kind of do like a concentric kind of curl where, you're just basically isolating, those are different exercises. So they can work different parts of your bicep, but it's not shocking your muscle into tricking it to the change, right? You're still doing a curl no matter what, right? So it's not that your training is getting boring. You're probably getting bored with your training. Completely different area, right? So what you need to do is take a look at your program. Is it actually doing what you want it to do, right? Are you getting all the other stuff outside the gym to get the changes you want that you work in the gym, right? If you want bigger arms, right, you have to lift in your right ranges, right, to elicit that type of change to get bigger, right? You need to eat enough to develop the muscle growth, right? You have to recover, so you need to sleep. You need to, proper hydration and all that other stuff, right? So it's not about tricking the muscle to get the gains you want. It's literally you need to do the bunch of things outside the gym to get your change. It's not I shocked the muscle and all of a sudden, boom, so much bigger, right? No, it's not how it works, right? Tricep only extends, right? It doesn't matter if you do a single arm, rope, doesn't really matter. Like you can change the exercise you want. Still doing a tricep exercise, right? Single arm over, skull. Still doing a tricep exercise. It's not, you're only tricking your brain apparently, right? Or you're getting bored so easy that, if I change the exercise, it makes me happier. All right. So that's where you're going to want to take a look at your program and, where's your progressive overload? Like, are you adding more weight? Are you taking less weight off? Are you deloading? Are you burnt out? Are you going too hard, too long for however many weeks, months, things like that? You want to take a look at that, right? So shocking your muscle literally does not make sense because a properly built program will change what you want or what you're looking for, right? That's why we do what we do, right? So, you can do, if you want to go, if you start with, say, go back to our biceps, right? You're doing a 2-arm curl. Well, if you go to single arm, right, you might get change because with a 2-arm, you're using 2 hands to move a weight. Well, once you go to single arm, one side might be stronger than the other, right? So you won't know that until you do the single arm. So you're not shocking the muscle in it. You're actually finding the imbalance, which is completely different, right? Once you find that imbalance, then you can start playing around with, maybe I'll stay with single arm, work on my muscle imbalance, and get you stronger and things like that, right? So it's not about I'm tricking my muscle into the change that I want. That's not it. It's your muscle can only do those 3 things: concentric, eccentric, and isometric, right? And you're finding a training variable that works for you that you like, right? Some people like just 2-arm curls. Cool, more power to you. If you like it, do it. But if you're going to stay at, say, 50 pounds for 3 months, nothing's going to change, right? And if you stay at 8 reps for 3 months, nothing's going to change, right? You basically will just keep lifting that weight. There will be no change. But if you say for 2 weeks, I lift at 50 pounds, for 8 reps, and then another 2 weeks, I go maybe 60 pounds for 2 weeks at 8 reps, so once you add those little changes, there's where things you're not tricking your muscle, you're literally just changing your rep count. and that's literally all it takes, right? Your rep count will change. It's that progressive overload, right? You just add a little bit more because you're going to get stronger, right? It's just natural. Once you start doing that, you get stronger, you're going to have to add more weight, right? And then now you need to bring all your outside sources back in: rest, recovery, nutrition, hydration, all that stuff, right? So shocking your muscles is absolutely rubbish. There is no such thing unless you are physically shocking them with an electric current, which that's a whole different realm, right? So that's more of like a, PT athletic training, like, kind of recovery slash, injury thing. But, right, that's completely different, right? So we want to make sure that, one, you're lifting safe and properly, right? The muscle can only do those certain movements, right? There's really nothing else. Like, that's what they're designed to do. Change your program, right, for your training variables to meet your goals, right? Change your rep scheme, change your weights, change how many sets you do, right? 3, 4, like those are all things that literally will make the change that you want, but you're not shocking anything. You're still doing the same exercises, and you can go from there and play around with it. So hope this little segment kind of, put a little, kind of knowledge there on you that, there is no such thing. It's, stick with what you're doing, look for small, subtle changes, make sure you're doing things outside the gym, aid in what you're doing in the gym, and, we'll go from there. So like always, don't forget to like, subscribe, right? And just remember that here we kind of talk about trends, myths, and anything else that we want to kind of go over. So hope you all enjoy. It's Friday. It's the weekend, right? So I hope you enjoy. Don't go crazy. Don't lose all the momentum you had during the week. So remember, calories still count on the weekends, right? They just don't magically disappear. So keep track of your goals, and we'll see y'all next week. All right, have a good one.